You're Oh yeah, not bad. Yeah, good to be back. Sorry, just played some Dota 2, in between, So just thought I'd just played some Dota come 2, back. I suppose the league's a bit better, but yeah. So good to be back with you, Bite 2. Yeah, and as we were just discussing off air as well, Bluebin Boomers falling to Big Chungers week one since our last Durocast, and then yeah, some interesting results last week as well, shaking up the league a bit, and then Big Chungers playing last night. So yeah, it should be a good one. And Adam will try, and obviously the veteran himself, he will want to assert his authority, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate this. I keep getting notifications. At least we all have one common enemy, and that's Riot at least. So, oh God, got me to do it then. Yeah, 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 yeah. He's literally giving us. Yeah, he's literally giving us what picks to look for. So hopefully he's also looking for those picks, not to. And yeah, you see, there's the Lux ban as you said. So um, yeah, but who do you think's going to kind of, apart from those two veterans, how do you think? Because obviously Bluebin Boom is uh, you know, pretty different team to uh, wash up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh no, he's just teasing that. Surely, it's I'll be very. I'm very surprised. And yeah, I mean, I think it's the whole kind of, that new exciting champion just to show off. So I think that may be a downfall, considering the first two picks have been a Mumu and Leona, two very tanky champions. So um, we'll just have to see what the rest of the team goes out on. Yeah, yeah, pun, pun. Yeah. So he's going to go. Going to go. Not going to set jungle, is it? No. Yeah. I was going to say I'm looking at Urza, and he's only just had kind of the one game on set, so it doesn't look like um, he's going to pick it. Although you've got the Nunu that's going to be the jungler, of course. And there's the Pike support now that's come in. So yeah, and then talking about Ellie, of course, as well. I was looking at hers, and she's been playing some Ziggs actually quite a lot. So um, that could be an option. And she's also done very well on Ari as well as a control main. So they've got option. Well, literally just I eat my own words. Ari is gone, and then the Ziggs as well. That is 4 target bans for their mid laner. That is quite incredible. I feel Urza might be crying deeply inside that he's not had more target bans. So where does that leave? I mean, there's Talia maybe if she really wants to branch out, but it could be interesting.
Yeah, Adam's definitely reading the same play sheet you are. There is. Yeah, it's definitely shrunk her champion pool. No mistake. We'll have to see what it comes
Yeah,
to. But the Misfortune Leona picking the bot lane, that's a strong, fairly aggressive lane. Misfortune will scale into those team fights. Bullet time is always always a factor, but
that's
she can bully early.
yeah.
Trundle for the top lane though, that
Yeah,
is a
nice.
counter aggressive pick.
Yeah, that's good because obviously they're thinking the set's going to be top, so that's gonna be a pretty big advantage. Hitting level 6, that's it anyway. So
Yeah, Trundle good
yeah,
against tanks and bruisers alike. He can really chomp those kind of people down to size.
yeah, and we just got the mid laner left. This is the big call. Who they're going to go for because they have been. I've never seen someone so focused in banning. This is what happens, Girl plays League of Legends and just gets focused.
Yeah, definitely not fair.
Ooh, okay, there
Let's
we go.
see.
They couldn't completely ban her out, but so good range at least as well. Although the Amumu does easy gank for that mid lane as well on the Xerath, so we'll have to see how that goes down.
Yeah, so one of the other big changes over the preseason was the way that the jungle camps respawn, and
Yeah,
it's now very much in favor of power farming. They say that there is technically more gold there if you power farm, um,
yeah,
but if you don't, you can't. So Amumu can do that power farm, but he also
yeah,
gets really punished if he goes for a gank and misses because he's so mana heavy on some of his abilities that.
yeah. He's one of the few junglers who can do raptors very early on. And then, but for Nunu, obviously, is the king of invade, so he's going to have to be really wary. And then he's going to have to be wary of his Xerath as well, because that Fizz is going to have that Xerath for lunch, basically. So it's good choices, I think. Good drafts by both teams, I think. And yeah, it's gonna. I think late game there's a lot of potential as well. So.
Hmm. So it does feel a lot like Bluebin Boomers drafted what they wanted, and then Team Washed Up drafted reactively. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, I think it was reactive certainly because they managed to pick their mid laner after Bluebin Boomers as well. They picked the Trundle after the set, and the Mumu was first pick, but obviously that's you get maybe countered by a stronger early jungler, but it's not drastic. And then we have the Pike into the Leona and Misfortune, so it's Bluebin Boomers. I think their bot lane's going to be, Sivers obviously the late game and doesn't really do that much early on. So I wouldn't see worth ganking that bot lane. It's going to be stopping that Fizz from snowballing, for want of a better phrase, with Nunu playing. But yeah.
So Pike is definitely a champion that wants to roam as early as
Yeah.
possible. Realistically, I mean level 6 goes to very spikes, but he's still fairly happy to roam either way. He can move fast.
Yeah.
Can Sivir hold her own 1v2
Mm.
versus Misfortune Leona, or is she just going to die?
I mean, she's probably one of the few ADCs that can survive with the spell shield. So, you know, it's not like a glass cannon like Cogmore who would just get hunted down. So yeah, there is potential. I think that's what they try to do, is that Sivir can Max can be on his own in the lane while Pike does a kind of bit of roaming and helps that Xerath not crumble to pieces, basically. You know, and then Seth and Trundle kind of just on their own island. So it's certainly going to be a very open map, that's for sure. It's not going to be lane by lane by lane. It's going to be quite a flexible and dynamic game, I think. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone can hold their own, you know, Max is one of our star ADCs in the league.
Yeah.
Definitely, if not always the flashiest, he's always solid and like well solid. Like he'll continue on through. He'll not die too much. He'll get to the late game and he'll be a presence in team fights. Even if he's not doing the super flashy plays, you can check the graphs at the end, and he's always doing consistent good damage. But you're right.
Sure.
Ellie in the mid lane is probably one we've got to keep our eyes on. You know, a good Xerath can pump out damage as well, but with an Amumu and a Fizz, and later on a Trundle Leona, you know, an immobile mage is a scary thing to play late game versus some of these champions.
Yeah, and also, of course, might forget as well that Amumu's passive Curse Touch as well amplifies the magic damage as well. So, you know, if he lands a good Curse the Sad Mummy ultimate as being a regular Amumu player, it can devastate the team. You know, that Fizz damage is going to be amplified. Even the Leona damage as well, actually. You know, might make a difference. So, and he's got the Infernal Amumu as well. Very good choice of skin. But yeah, so I think people tend to forget that Amumu really is good supporting AP champions. So yeah, that certainly seems to be the kind of the focus for them, is get that Fizz ahead, and yeah, just wreak havoc as he does usually.
Yeah. So loading in. We got any? It's just Ellie off the skin. A little bit disappointing, but oh well.
Yeah,
can't win them all.
No, of course, no. We've got a nice array of colours there. But so have you managed to experience Set much? I've played against him a couple of times, and you know, he's got for a top lane blue, a lot of range abilities. You know.
Yeah. So I've not played against him. I've only seen a few games. I don't know why, and it's definitely in no way the same in any way, shape, or form. But for some reason, I think it's just that W punch. He reminds me of Graves in some ways.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I've always called him as a testosterone-fueled Vi, basically.
Yeah.
So you know, his ultimate, the Showstopper, it's called, is basically an improved Vi ultimate and what it should have been probably. But yeah, it's interesting. You know, he's got quite high base values, so he is deceptive early game. And you know, against Trundle pre-6 he should beat, but as soon as Trundle hits this level 6, then he's going to have issues. So yeah, I think just Crunk Chronic has got to watch out for that. Obviously, Urza, you know, we've seen he's a good top laner despite the losses. So yeah, he's going to have to watch out for that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially thinking back to that week 1 game we did cast versus Big Chungus. It felt like he was the one holding his own in what was it, the Aatrox versus Mordekaiser matchup. He was the one point we thought maybe that could pull it back, but
yeah,
you know, late game scaling on this team on both mid lane and bot lane. He doesn't have to do this solo. He can just make sure that his team can get there, and they can probably pull through because Fizz will drop off later on. Maybe a little bit hard for the Xerath to itemize defensively. You guess he really want that Zhonya's Hourglass, but it's not super strong against the Fizz and the Amumu he's going to be facing early on.
No. It's it's going to be quite safe for now.
But no, we didn't see any early game shenanigans. Both teams just making their way into the bot lane. Ellie throwing some poke down in the mid lane. We'll see where our junglers start off. They're both going to start bot side, and we'll see how power farmy they go. Nunu, of course, we're definitely expecting to sit in there until his hand is forced, really, somewhere else on the map. Unlikely to see him make many proactive plays early on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, bot lane, the Sivir is just going to be happy to sit under a turret. We have got an engage already, yeah, going to level 2. Still the level on the pike, so he takes a good chunk of damage. Not going to heal up that grey health as well just yet. So, but as you can see, of course, Set is pushing it into the Trundle for now because he's just got that range, and he's got that double punch, which quicker attack speed on the second punch as well. So yeah, he's doing what Set should be doing, and already half health on that Trundle.
Yeah, he will probably heal that back though. Set unlikely to win in an extended battle of.
Yeah, and that's what I thought as well. Yeah, the Xerath is ignited, but he's got the barrier to unfortunately save himself. Fizz is going under the turret as well. Does get the first blood, will get the death in return, but crucially, more goal onto the side of the Fizz there. And as we said, that is the Fizz up and running.
Yep, all summoners blown in the mid lane. And the flash on the Amumu, probably worth noting. Summoner trade-wise, you know, Blue Bin Boomers do come out slightly ahead, but the first blood gold onto that Fizz is big, and the assist gold onto the Amumu as well. It was close though. It almost felt like if Xerath had landed that W to get the extra slow and managed to bait out a little bit more, maybe that could have gone differently. Yeah. But in the end, well played by Simo. First blood theirs.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they needed. Early gank, level 3 gank, and now Fizz should be all right on his own, you know, and be able to kill Ellie himself. And the Mumu can try and mainly focus his attention onto the objectives. And you see there, the Nunu doing well to punish the other jungler. That is what's key with those ganks, is that reacting. That's kind of what makes a great jungler of a good jungler, reacting to those ganks and saying, right, what are the objectives I can take off and deny that Amumu? It is red buff, blue buff obviously is ideal, and then he can't farm as heavily, but yeah, good reaction by Tintin there. As we see another gank as well, Tintin trying to respond, but it's just too slippery, that fish.
Yeah, you can see the melee range advantage as well. Even though the first blood gold did go over to the Fizz, Xerath still 5-6 CS up, you know, an entire wave. Just making sure he's keeping that Fizz on his toes, poking him out well, and ensuring that no CS is free CS. Although a large wave under the turret, we'll see how much he can catch up here.
Yeah, as you said, we've got another flick over the back as well. Leona is got a lot of health and armor and magic resist, so she's doing well so far. The Ignite has come down as well, and the flashes all coming out there as well, so it does get away. Ignite use on the side and the flash use on the owner at least get away, and Adam lives to fight another day.
Yeah, laid Ignite down after they've blown all their CC. Does mean that it kind of comes to naught, as we see Simo try and re-engage onto Ellie, just a bit of poke down. Ellie gonna look for some in return, but cooldown's all gone, clearing the wave. She's gonna use him once more to try and push that Fizz under turret. Yeah,
that was the spell shield there used on the Sivir, so that's the kind of your window of opportunity is to play against the Sivir, is to bait out that spell shield, and once that's gone, then is to try and capitalize on that. So interesting first 5 minutes of this game, as we see the Nunu coming in bot lane as well, but we got the gank as well, mid lane, all going around the game. This dynamic game going on. Adam does not have the flash, and he does not have the health to survive. Meanwhile, though, Max is getting very low, should be able to walk away. The Tintin helping out there and being able to survive. And that's a kill on the side of Blue Bin Boomers, as we have another fight top lane as well. They're going for it. Level 6. Here comes the Showstopper, doing very good damage there, but both getting very low. One more hit. The flash attempted there, and it is Urza who gets the kill. Very, very close. And we're just talking simply attack speed and values. Both the same PS, both the same items. And that was basically a skill matchup, really.
Yeah, beautifully played by Urza, though. He knew the whole time that shield was coming back up. He baited Crunk in there. Crunk thought he had him, chased him too far, and then he turns around and, you know, it's a large shield when Set pops that W. The punch comes through and it's suddenly 400-500 health. more than Krung was expecting to sit there.
Yeah,
So really well
thing as
played
well.
by Urza.
Yeah, and he did actually use the flash. I think he only flashed a couple of feet forward, which is kind of interesting. And Chronic saved his flash as well, so it's interesting he didn't flash back in, because with the bite, reducing the attack damage and that sort of, 1v1 trade-off. So I think just quicker reactions there and just more experience really from Urza.
Ooh, Adam in the bush.
Yeah, Adam, he's trying it on. He's using that veteran status, And now we can see Urza with that first kill. Once he gets a Tiamat and that range he can get under the turrets, it's just really difficult to play against him.
Some bush cheese coming back in Adam's face there. There's a
Yeah.
Pike poking down a little bit. And, the Pike burst can't be underestimated. We all know what kind of champ he is. Made famous by Jisoo, of course.
Yeah.
He's a champ with damage for every lane. But up in the top lane.
Yeah, and we have got another fight here, though. Chronic does have his ultimate, though, if he needs it. He's saving it for now. He's still going. He's doing some good damage, but Shield has come out, and he will just walk away. But meanwhile, we've got a gank as well in the bot lane as well. Tintin's doing well to come and take down Leona. Adam is very much the focus. Still no kill on the Misfortune, though. And that is another kill for bot lane. 2-0 for Max there.
Yeah, probably not totally necessary, but it was nice to see the way Tintin positioned himself there. Body blocking Adam in case he tried to walk his way out of that. And in the top lane as well, the chunk coming out from the punch now from Urza is really going to be difficult for Crunk to deal with. He's just getting shoved under the turret. Urza's going to punch him from out of turret range, which is, when you say melee bruiser and you say chunk from out of turret range, that's a bit of a dissonant statement. But
I know, it's, I can't really compare him to many other bruisers, the Darius, the Camille, the Fiora, they're all kind of, they're the pull-in kind of champions where Set, he's very much happy to get away, but unfortunately, he's now got 2, does get a big shield, but unfortunately that's not going to count for much, and it goes for a kill onto the Amumu, which maybe probably would have been better on the Fizz, but nevertheless, that's a kill down. It's an open lane for Chronic as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly show my ignorance here. Can Set use his ultimate?
Oh yeah, we got the flash combine as well. Curse of the Sad Money comes in, so that's that extra damage onto the Xerath. He's going to take a lot of damage there. Ignite should go down, and that is a kill for Simo on the Fizz, and he currently is the shining light for Team Washed Up right now.
Yeah, a little bit greedy of Ellie to be pushed that far up the river when she'd seen Jordizzy there. Not 15-20 seconds earlier. She knew roughly where he was on the map. To push yourself that far upriver on a champion like Xerath against a Mumu Fizz is that just feels like a bit of a misplacement. But can Set use his ultimate over walls, or does it get stopped by terrain?
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. So he can start his ultimate behind the wall and then carry both of them over the wall.
Right.
And so quite a large distance. So he can actually do it over the riverside walls as well. So that's kind of one kind of advantage as well, that he can simply lock down the Misfortune, for instance, take her out of the fight, but he can also lock on to someone who's already over the wall as well. So it's a very versatile ultimate compared to the Fire, which is simply just kind of lock on and then knock them up a bit. So it kind of shows the development of Riot as well, and they have actually kind of improved the abilities. They have been a bit gimmicky sometimes, with some champions, but it's an interesting and fun champion to watch as well.
Yeah, I wonder if Urza knows that, because I was wondering in that top lane, his ultimate was already back up and had been for a while, whether he could have, taken that Fizz or that Amumu over the wall to try and escape that gank, or at least even it out a bit in his favour.
I think he just tried to go for it himself, and then just didn't quite calculate it very well. So because saving his ultimate as well, it does have a relatively high cooldown early on. It's 108 seconds right now, so he's just trying to save it to get a solo kill on that Trundle again.
All right, but as we take a moment, we're very close in goal, 200 between the teams. I'm going to say in favour of Bluebin Boomers, but obviously 200 gold means nothing at 12 minutes.
They do the mountain as well, which was in amongst
some of the fighting as well.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's not even like we're seeing like one lane for one team and one lane ahead. I mean, they totally even in CS. We'll take a quick check on.
Oh, yeah, we've got the flash and very good ultimate by Leona. The dash doesn't work, but Jude's getting the stun and the ignite as well. And Fizz has just got too much damage for the Xerath. And as a woman for Xerath, as we kind of quite pleasantly predicted. So, yeah, this Simo is needing to be the leader. The two Yordles on the side of Team Washed Up are the leaders, really. Misfortune hasn't died, but no kills. So she's doing okay, but the Fizz is really the damage. As we see the set coming in, there is the showstopper coming in, does use it onto Leona, and Adam is getting very low. That is a kill onto the Pike, of course, Gold Shed as well. And then a kill for the Amumu onto the Nunu. That is the Nunu down, and the set down, and double kill onto the Amumu. Meanwhile, though, we've got the ADC on ADC. And I think the Misfortune with that heal should win that as well. But does try to use the ultimate. Good flash away, but unfortunately, just not good enough. As the Misfortune gets her first kill over the Sivir, which also in return will give them the Rift held hopefully soon. The Simo is getting very low though, and he's going to have to avoid the damage. And here comes out the ultimate from the Xerath. Is Ellie going to be able to get her second kill of the game? No, not quite, but they do deny the Rift Herald at least.
Yeah, a few nice things there. Right at that last bit there, I like Slap and Tickle following the Fizz. No intention to engage there, but just making sure he kept vision on him so that Ellie could, cleanly get her ult away without having to put a couple of random shots in just to kind of range on the Fizz. On the flip side, I thought Slap and Tickle was a little bit hesitant there. If he'd popped in with Ellie on the Xerath earlier, I feel like there was, both the Fizz and the Amumu were very low. They weren't far off execute range for that Pike. A little bit more bravery, maybe they could have swept another kill or two up. On the bot side, a nice attempt by Max with the flash. In the end, though, Nia does manage to, react out, pull his ult.
Going on, sorry to interrupt you, Baitsu, but Simo getting his 5th kill of the game, and racking up those kills nicely. Doesn't have much on the side of farm though, and this is kind of the issue mid laners sometimes do have, is they get too kind of drawn away, and where farm, obviously is just as important. So he needs to kind of make sure he doesn't stray too much, or it's not going to really count as much as it should be.
Yeah, it is interesting on both mid laners well down in farm compared to both top and bot lane. 20 CS off Trundle, who's the next lowest from the actual farm takers, as it were. Fizz has been roaming a bit, and Xerath not so much, but in the top lane, a little bit of action.
Showstopper bringing the good ultimate ability from Chronic, and that is a brilliant turnaround. Just when we thought he'd gone down, that was very well timed, and baited Urza in actually for the execution, and because it doesn't actually disable the Trundle as well, so he was able to use the ultimate halfway through the set ultimate as well, so which gives you that instant 20% health, and then the other 20% is drained. So basically a free heal really. So Urza was a bit confident there, probably apt from the champion as well, being an arrogant character. But good return from Chronic.
Yeah, and the Chomp as well, I think, gave him a little bit of extra heal as well. So the kind of counter bait to what Urza did earlier.
The Solar Player going in as well, and now the Curse of the Sad Mummy just to lock them down, and the Misfortune ultimate just to top it off, and that is the one-bug combo right there that Team Wash Up were looking for.
Yeah, lovely layering of CC, and it's Blue Bin Boomers now struggling to find themselves a figurehead here to rally behind. Sivir was looking decent, but died twice now in the last 5 or so minutes. Top laner Set also been baited in a bit, and now the Drake will go over to the side of Team Washed Up. Cloud Drake is the second.
Oh, and the Drake does actually go to Blue Bin Boomers. That is the caster's curse, unfortunately, Baitsu. Nice try. Unfortunately, I'm too adept at getting those curses, so I avoided it. Does not quite get the kill from the Pike, but eventually Simo does get the kill.
I thought the Pike was going to make it out for a second there, but The burn
Yeah.
on the Fizz Q does Fizz W does eventually take him down.
Yeah,
Cloud
and the two
Drain-
Drake actually going to keep Blue Mooners. Meanwhile, we do have a fight again. The set is just too low, and now, unfortunately, Urza has just not appreciated the late game scaling of the Trundle, who is just simply going to fight and have that set for lunch.
Yeah, nicely followed on by Crump, using his flash well, the pillar through, the chomp to finish off. It's looking pretty clean now, and that is the problem with brawlers, is, you know, they're fun-looking champs, but they often do just boil down to a bunch of stats, and if your stats are lower than your enemies, you're not in for a good time. As we see a collapse onto the Nunu.
And Tintin, yeah, it's just bad positioning, and that's a very simple kill, and just not map aware of that instant there. So meanwhile, Looper is going to have to flash over to safety, and On the Hunt was activated as well from the Sivir. So that was an almost, but a kill on the side of Team Washed Up.
Yeah, I could forgive Tintin if it was a little bit closer to the Baron, but we still got, 2.5 minutes from the point he died. Going for that Scuttle Crab isn't necessary. It's not going to get you Baron Vision. The Rift Herald, I mean, doesn't seem likely on the Team Washed Up's radar at the moment, but even so, you got to give that one up, realistically. So just,
Yeah,
you're right, far too deep at the time.
yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to take a little quick peekaroo at the items so far. We saw the stopwatch on the Zerath. Of course, that got blown a little while back. He went for Luden's Echo first. We will see if she goes any more defensively, based on where she is. 1-4-1 down. You can always look at it two ways, right? You either have to go balls to the wall and just go for full damage, or you kind of hedge your bets, decide you need to stay alive, stop the turret dives coming through later if you fear those, and make sure you can survive that kind of thing.
Yeah, I did think, maybe some more survivability kind of based item, Banshee's Veil would, of course, be good just to kind of keep yourself alive, really, if anything. As soon as that Zerath gets locked down by either the Amumu, the Fizz, or the Leona, then unfortunately Ellie is mincemeat. So, she needs to be careful because she's very vulnerable and an easy kill at the moment.
Yeah. The bot lane as well, now that Misfortune's 3-0 up. Essence Reaver completed, BF Sword and a pickaxe in the inventory, and sitting on, well, only 400 gold in the bank, but, not a million miles off completing what will probably be an eye edge, I imagine. Her Q double-ups are really going to hurt if she hits that pipe, especially.
We do have the fight here. Tintin is getting very low, but he's got the shield to take away that Fizz health. Very well played, but unfortunately, Chronic Kronk is going to come back in, try and get the kill, but fortunately Tintin is just good sustain. Does heal up, eventually goes down to the Misfortune, who is doing some good damage. Bullet time comes out, but does not get a kill there. Meanwhile, though, the On the Hunt has been activated. Now there's a first pike for the kill. Triple kill onto the Misfortune, and she is 6-0 now. She is definitely cleaning up shop here. And she got the Sivir down as well at the end there.
God, all at the end there. An absolute mess of a play.
All of them go.
A 4 for 3.
It must have been her Q onto one champion to another. That was literally just a triple. I'm sure she killed two people at the same time there. So that was suddenly we have a Fed Fizz and Misfortune.
Yeah, and strange that the one person that survived on Blue Bin Boomers was the one person you really thought was going to go down, which was Ellie right at the beginning. Does manage to end up, surviving, and importantly, pumping in a lot of damage into the river from range, as Zerath is wont to do. After the fact. But 4 for 3, that will have been some important shutdown goal, especially from the Fizz. Onto the side of Blue Bin Boomers. They've closed it back to 2.5k, which, isn't anything to sneeze at, but 20 minutes in, it's definitely not the end of the world.
Anything to sneeze at? Is that a new one?
Is that not a normal? Is that not a saying?
I don't know. I can't say I've heard it, but I like it. Don't get me wrong, I love it.
Maybe you're thinking of nothing to sniff at.
I think it was to sniff at, not to sneeze. But there we go.
No,
I like it. We're new innovative, Bite. So that's what we're all about here at MLS.
Yeah. But on the other side though, that $2.5 grand partially made up for by the elemental Drake. But here we go again.
Do get the dash as well. Tintin is getting very low. He's going to flash out. He does activate the ultimate. Got a bit of a shield, but unfortunately, just not tanky enough. And unfortunately, the rest of his team weren't quite on the same page there either.
No, and now with the Amumu down, the Nunu down, this does make way for the Flame Drake to go over to the side of Team Washed Up. And just as I was talking about the Elemental Drake advantage that Blue Bin Boomers have, they give up a little bit of it. As a Speculative ult comes out from Xerath.
Yeah.
He's getting a little risky there, but always had his little pole troll to get his way out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Simo is very confident on this champion, and on the Fizz, and is exactly panned down. Unfortunately, the Nunu's not been quite as effective as I thought he might be. The Amumu's been very good to support the Fizz and get that early kill that they got early on, and yeah, it's going to be difficult coming back in this game with that 6-1 misfortune as well.
The Thorn Mail already, first major item on this Amumu after his jungle item. Really aiming to itemize against the Sivir here.
Yeah. Obviously, seen the Xerath not much of a threat, and Nunu, not much damage coming out there, and the set is quite far behind. So yeah, he's literally just gone all out the AD because clearly that's the only one that can really kill the Amumu right now, as well as the Pyke, obviously.
Yeah. So, we're going to have a little bit of a reset now. Team Washed Up, got the Drake, got a couple kills, gone back to spend. That is the eye edge completed on the Misfortune. The Lich Bane completed on the Fizz, and the Blade of the Ruined King, that would have been completed first, so the Spirit Visage completed on the Trundle. So, maybe he's a little bit more worried about the Xerath, but I imagine he's largely got that, of course, for the heal increase on his chomp.
Yeah, and it's interesting actually to see that the Misfortune and Sivir, in terms of items, are actually pretty much the same. Well, they are the same actually. There's no pretty much about it, which is interesting considering the scores are very different. And it's just that CS, that has bumped that Sivir up. So although it looks a lot more worse than it is, they're actually on par with each other.
Yeah, literally 300 gold separating them. The real difference, there isn't anywhere that's miles ahead. 600 in the top lane, 600 in the jungle. I guess the 3k in the mid lane is where the big gold gap is, but then an extra $1.5 grand in the bot lane in favour of the Pyke is what kind of pulls it back again, to leave us with only a 3k gold deficit overall, which is, pretty incredible when you're 20 to 9 kills down.
Yeah. I'm having a bit of an issue with my playback at the moment, so
No worries, I'll continue then. So what I'd really like to see from is we do see the fish land onto the Xerath. Fizz is going to try and get himself in there, but a nice flash up from Ellie kind of brings him to safety.
I'm back in as well. Yeah, the Ignite's coming down on the Ellie barrier. Good timing as well to that survivability. So Ellie did have her wits about her at least and be able to survive that, but is going to have to recall, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that mid lane turret has gone. I mean, that's not a good thing, but it does mean a little bit more time. That kind of chunking out and the way that the laning phase is, completely finished now, does mean that it's not the end of the world if she has to back. There'll be people around to pick up that mid lane.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to see is Team Washed Up pushing the vision in a bit deeper, especially if they want to around that bot lane. They've got the one deep ward in, but I feel like what they could really do with is taking that bot lane outer turret, and then what they can do is they can leave Crunk on this Trundle down there to really split push, because I don't think Urza can stand against him. I'm not sure anyone can stand 1v1 against this Trundle at the moment. And then they've got a lot of pressure around the Baron. You can see they've already got 2 pink wards down. It would give them the room to get another one, preferably maybe nearer the blue buff, or at least some deep warding in around the Blue Bin Boomer's blue buff. And that'll give them, the impetus to push on as we move on, as we continue on into this game. Yeah,
it's very much,
subdued right now in terms of objectives. You have got the Baron, but the next Drake is coming up in 25 seconds, so that will be the focus. And I think whoever does get this Drake, which does look like it'll be team washed up, will be able to push that bot turret in as well, which is probably their next point of call. As the fish does come in, but sadly, no bait on the end of that.
Not this time. Ellie, of course, sitting without summoners for the next at least minute on barrier and, probably 2.5 minutes or so on flash.
Yeah.
Does leave her pretty vulnerable, so we'll see if Team Washed Up are keeping a track of this and whether they want to take it as the Flame Drake does aggro onto Ellie over the wall. It's a bit unfortunate.
That was interesting. But yeah, they are very much doing a lot of damage to that Drake, so that should be a very simple second Drake for Team Washed Up. Unfortunately, that has been the only salvation for Blue Bin Boomers for now, is those first 2 Drakes. So the third one is going to be very pivotal.
Yeah, so we did see Crunk teleport down there. So it is for safety. I can understand to a degree why they did it. I mean, it does make that play, I would say, pretty much 100% safe, bar some miracle steal off of Ellie. But that is now.
Yeah, we do have her as a time to fight the battle, but just not quite the same as he was doing earlier on.
But yeah, we'll see if there's like a teleport. I like that. I hadn't even thought of that properly. As the pillar goes down in front of Tintin.
Yeah. And does have to flash away for that, which I'm not sure really had to do that, but there you go. That's why they're the players and not us, as they are finally focusing down that outer bot turret. A couple more hits should do it, and that's another lane open for Team Washed Up at least.
Yeah, but the downside of using that teleport to bring Trundle down to secure that Drake is that they're going to have to wait for three or so minutes before they can really bring him down into the bot lane and pressure for the Baron, because of course the threat is that Trundle's pushing bot lane, but he can always teleport up to that Baron if a fight breaks out. Without that,
yeah,
it does make that fight a lot more difficult. They're relying on the Trundle for a lot of disruption, you know, as we just saw, stopping Tintin getting in towards that backline, and for instance stopping a Misfortune ult or something like that with a Q knockup.
Yeah.
And stopping the Pike from dashing around quite as freely as he might otherwise do. So it's interesting. We might see some slowdown from Team Washed Up. Then again, this is the MLS. we may well not do. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what mood they're in tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's getting close now. Though there's Chum the Waters has hit Ellie. Unfortunately, she's going to go down very soon in a minute, but she's doing well to survive. Eventually goes down to the Amuma, and Kirsten Sad Mummy has come out as well. Meanwhile, Bullet Time as well. Now they are running for their lives. Blue Bin Boomers. Tintin is all on his own, and he will go down. And that is the jungler down, and the Baron is open, and that should be the next point of call for Team Washed Up.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, I don't think Blue Bin Boomers had to look for that fight, I think is the point there, as we do see them try and now go again.
Has missed the Pike Q there, and will be punished for that as another kill. 9th kill of the game for Simo there.
Yeah.
As it's free Baron.
Yeah, we should see this Baron go down to the side of Team Washed Up, and I hope we don't see any more contests from Blue Bin Boomers.
Yeah, I think they learned their lesson, yeah.
Yeah, overall, I just think that was a bit trigger happy from Blue Bin Boomers there, trying to pull those fights. You know, I don't think you're in a position at the moment, or, well, you definitely aren't anymore. You weren't at that point to take those kinds of fights head on, but I don't think you were so far behind that Team Washed Up can do the Baron with no repercussions. You know, you can still see there's plenty of time left on that Trundle TP. You know, he couldn't go down and do the split push yet. You just had to be patient and really wait it out. So I'm a little bit disappointed Blue Bin Boomers decided to go that early, and we'll see how badly this hurts them and whether Team Washed Out can now close up.
Half health there as well from the Misfortune as well.
Yep. We did say we'd see which way Ellie went, and she's gone full damage still. So, you know, you love to see it.
Yeah, again, just no defensive item. You know, a Banshee's Veil would stop that Chum the Waters as well, and she would have just walked away from that. So these items do actually make a big difference. You know, and then she wouldn't have died, and then we'd probably still be hanging around Baron and not be pushed in like this. So that one item has actually made quite a big difference.
Yeah, we'll see what she's pushing for next. She's been sitting on this broken stopwatch for the last 20 odd minutes.
Yeah.
And now with the Amp Tome, the Doran's Ring can be sold at any point, of course. So we'll see what she goes for.
Yeah.
The side of team for Bluebin Boomers, they really just need to turtle up and see what they can do. And that's not an easy thing to do with a jungler like Nunu, who's going to offer, you know, pretty much nothing when it comes to these siege situations. Especially against Baron minions.
Yeah, they're just a bit sporadic at the moment, and this is just a free bot turret for Simo as well. And they're just one step behind, chasing shadows at the moment.
Yeah, to be fair to them, I don't think there's too much they can actually do at the moment. No.
And he's all right, he's okay. He's managed to miss the stun, but does not miss the damage. And that was a simple kill, and Slap and Tickle will be no more there.
Yeah. That was too far out. I was going to say I was perfectly happy for them to let go of those inner turrets. I didn't think there was much they could do for them. Maybe put up a bit of token resistance just to slow them down, but that catch is going to let them get an inhib at the very least.
Yeah, it's certainly been a bulldozing now from the team side of Team Washed Up, as they do take down the first inhibitor of the game and focus the top lane inhibitor. And yeah, you just see it kind of escalating from here, really.
Yeah, not much left, not much time left on that Baron buff, so we're going to see them reset, not push straight through for the win. But you imagine what we'll see is a bit of split pushing from that Trundle. Now his TP's back up, probably top lane, as the rest of the team kind of groups and does, you know, little darts between mid and bot lane. Probably the Fizz. My guess would be the Fizz sitting mid or bot, and the other three sitting in the other lane, just kind of, you know, keeping the pressure up, keeping that assassination threat from the Fizz as the Trundle pushes in, and then either TP play or just a general collapse onto this bot side. They're probably far enough ahead now, you know, nearly 10k, 9.5k. They can start to threaten those turret dives very easily with how tanky people like the Leona, the Trundle, the Amumu are. That turret's not going to phase them too much.
No. Yeah, it's just they're delaying the inevitable, really. Especially now the Fizz does have that Rabadon's death cap, and I will just check. He does currently have 580 ability power, so that's pretty much the icing on the cake for Team Washed Up.
Yeah, and this is where we'll see the champion, like Pyke, get a little bit punished. He doesn't have any super instant lockdown. You know, he's got a bit on the pull, but there isn't any hard CC that can lock that Fizz down instantly that will allow, you know, Pyke and Xerath to burst through.
Yeah, even with the delayed dash stun, obviously. Yeah. So the Fizz has got time to react.
Yeah, their best chance is if Slap and Tickle and Ellie are right on the same page and they can get the hook in as that stun from the Xerath comes through, maybe they can burst through. And then once the Fizz is down, and maybe Misfortune looks a little bit more, you know, a little bit more mortal at the back line, and the Pyke can get through, maybe that's the way. But that's pretty much got to be a real perfect team play to get through on that.
Yeah, perfection is what they're going to need, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case for now. Because the Sam Running does come in, they are under the turret though, so Mumu is losing a lot of health there, and Simo does get the first kill. Another kill as well, double kill, but he's taking a lot of damage from the set as well. Showstopper does come in, and now he is taking a lot of damage, surviving well though. Trundle does pop the Zhonya's though, and he will be able to survive, and Misfortune takes that kill in the end. Turret goes down, one more Nexus turret, and that will be game 2, Team Washed Up. Very good game, but unfortunately not quite the perfect ending of the Misfortune guys, but very good game and a win for Team Washed Up.
No. You love to see the GGs in chat. Nothing but sportsmanship in this league. Never has been anything but. Don't you call me out in chat with anything bad that's ever happened in the MLS.
Yeah.
No. I was surprised actually with the amount of damage that set put out in the end there. 5v1 under turret. That was scary.
That was very much a Spartacus kind of hold there at the end, wasn't it? One against all, and as I'm looking at the damage now as well, you know, still do pretty good damage considering he was 1 in 6. So the Civen just not really pulling the strings there. And actually, the Xerath Ellie, to be fair to her, did the most damage out of anyone. So it's just that I think the comp just wasn't quite with it. You know, it's a very aggressive comp as well. So, you know, the Pike, the set, if they fall behind, then there's not much they can really do against an Amumu, Trundle, Leona, who just get tankier as the game goes on.
Yeah, it was always going to be difficult with kind of, poke heavy with a bit of assassinate and some late game scaling. You know, maybe if it goes on another 20 minutes, maybe Civic can pull through and do what your late game Civic can do, but it was still going to be difficult against someone like Misfortune with a fair amount of range. Wasn't impossible, but once they were that goal deficit behind, it probably wasn't happening.
Yeah, I appreciate your optimism though. It was good.
Yeah, I tried. Cool. Well, we'll take a quick break, guys, and we'll catch you up as soon as the next game's ready to roll. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Yeah.